election. But first, my opening statement. Look, it's time to take sides. The election is over. You're either with us or against us. That is, with the United States or against the United States. We have a new president-elect. His name is Donald J. Trump. So, move over Barack, move over Hillary, Harry, Jill, and all you namby-pamby, pathetic losers still crying in your grande double-shot skinny lattes. You know, there was a time in this country when we united behind the flag in celebration of America's new president, our new leader. We all did so in 2008 when Barack Obama was elected. We had high hopes for a united country, irrespective of our politics. And it's time for the left, assuming they're capable, to show the same dignity and class to the 45th president-elect. But no. This week, the president himself, Barack Obama, announces his intention to investigate whether Russia interfered with the presidential election, assigning our intelligence agencies to conclude the task before he leaves office. Seriously? Why now, Mr. President? You've been watching the release of information from WikiLeaks for months. You have watched the release of Hillary Clinton's emails. In fact, some even were sent to you. You've watched the release of John Podesta's emails and the disturbing information contained therein. You've watched the double-talking mainstream media outed for providing questions to your hand-picked successor, Hillary Clinton, for months. And you never say a word. But now it finally hits you that your successor of choice has not been elected, which you yourself said would be a personal insult. So you now decide it's time to investigate. And the suspect, Russia. Why are you talking about this now? You had a chance to put an end to the hacking, the breaching, and the interference, assuming that it might impact the election before the election. We have the best metrics operations in the world. And if all the warning signs were there long before the election, and now a month later you wake up and you decide not only are you going to investigate, but you're going to investigate Russia, using the same bozos, the ones who said Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction, the same bozos who said that we're defeating ISIS, the same intelligence geniuses who gave us the Benghazi BS, a politicized intelligence group. This isn't about the election, is it, Mr. President? This is about domestic politics. It's not about November 2016. It's about January 2017. And your attempt to prevent Donald Trump from the smooth transition of power and your inability to face the overwhelming Electoral College win that the American people gave him. Ironic, since you and your wannabe successor were so fired up that he might not quietly accept Hillary's ascension to power. So it fits that you say nothing about Jill Stein's phony recount nonsense, also backed by Ms. Hillary, and our wasted taxpayer dollars that will pay for it and the division that it's creating. And query, why are you so obsessed with Russia? You, who cut a deal and were made a fool of by the world's largest sponsor of terrorism, Iran. You know, the one that funds Hezbollah and Hamas, whose people yell death to America. You know, the ones you gave $150 billion to and secretly sent them another $400 million on pallets in an unmarked plane, and who knows how much more. But you're obsessed with the Russian, who at least is a Christian, who himself is obsessed with killing ISIS. A Russian who's had his own problems with Muslim terrorists, who told us twice about the Tsarnaev brother, the Boston bomber, that your administration was too dumb to follow through on. with deadly consequences to Americans. And even Hillary hates the Russians and now wants to blame Russia for her loss because she can't believe that Americans can see through her lying, untrustworthy, money-grubbing, non-charitable character. Good old Harry Reid, another Democrat truth-teller. You remember him, the one who was all into those desert tortoises, or at least, so he said, having nothing to do, of course, with money and solar power and his son-in-law and the Chinese. He's calling for Jim Comey to step down because he says that Comey and the FBI knew the Russians were hacking into the election. Obviously, Mr. One Eye knows more than the FBI themselves. I got a news flash. Everybody's been spying on everybody else for years. Even Obama knows Angela Merkel's hair appointments. Remember how angry she was when she found out that he had her emails? The difference is now they do it by cyber attacks. Don't be fooled by these narratives. It's all part of an orchestrated effort to build a wall to prevent Donald Trump from making America great again and building a relationship with a country that is fighting ISIS. And don't get me wrong, I despise all dictators. But between the dictator that thinks I'm an infidel and therefore you and I and our families should have our heads cut off, and the dictator from whom I simply want to keep my distance, who now and then might warn me of our common enemy, the choice is a no-brainer. And that's my open. Tell me what you think on my Facebook page or Twitter. #Judge Jeanine.